Now that we have got some idea in Python, let's see what are dictionaries in Python. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Mukeshkala, and in this tutorial we are discussing the basics of Python in a step-by-step manner. In the previous videos of the playlist, we have seen what is Python, how do you install it, what is string, what are variables, and a lot of other basic stuff. So in case you are absolutely new and you have no idea, feel free to watch the playlist. I have posted the link in the description for your reference, right? Apart from that, recently I have also got the LinkedIn top voice. Feel free to send me a connection request on the LinkedIn and I would be happy to be part of your network. Having said that, let's get started with today's topic, which is what are data structures, and in the data structure what specifically are dictionaries. Okay, so before directly jumping into the practicals of the dictionary, first of all I want to give you guys a quick overview of what exactly is a dictionary, right? So whenever I talk about dictionary, it is a collection of key value pair. Now what exactly is a key value pair? When we actually do the implementation, you will get to understand, but you can relate dictionary to something which is a dictionary in a real life, right? So we all have dictionaries with us. Whenever I have to find some word, I just go to the dictionary, I search the word, and for every word there is a meaning, right? So that in the real world dictionary we have two things: we have a word and we have its meaning, right? So basically it's nothing but a key, which is the actual word, and the value is nothing but the description. So that's what, whenever you want to store data or whenever you want to manipulate data in Python, which is following a good structure where you have the key and where you have the value, that is something, it is called a dictionary. If I talk about specifically the syntax, right? So everything has a syntax, right? So dictionary are used by using curly braces, right? So the one you see, these are the curly braces. These are not the square bracket or the normal one. This is the curly braces where you have to define the key and the value. And how does a dictionary look like? This is how a dictionary look like, right? So for example, if I want to store the data for the students, right? So all the students in a school or in a college would have a name, they would have an age, and then they would have the courses, right? So what I can do is I can create a dictionary which is nothing but a kind of a student dictionary where you have the name of the student, the age, and the courses, right? Now if you see here, the name, age, and the courses, this is nothing but the key, and the L is 25, and the math and the computer science, this is the value. So that's how you simply define a dictionary in Python, where you have two things: one is the key and other is the value, right? Now before you work and we actually go to Python, right, there are something which you should remember, that the key must be unique, which means that in a dictionary you cannot have two duplicate keys. So for example, if I have already put name as Alice, I cannot put one more name as Mukesh, because the name is a key and the value is Alice. So if I have already put name is equal to Alice, I cannot put name is equal to Mukesh, right? Because the key is unique. The second thing is the value can be of any data type and can be repeated. The key cannot be duplicate. I can put the courses as Alice, right? But I cannot duplicate the key. Value can be duplicate, right? Please remember that before we go to the implementation, and then you would be able to understand that what is a dictionary, what is key, what is value, right? I do not want to directly go to the practical implementation without having a background. So this is what a dictionary is, right? So what are the key things? A dictionary is something which is a key value pair, which is a unique combination. The key should be always unique. The value can be repeated. That's what we are going to see in the implementation as well, right? Now you guys might be thinking, right, why do I need such a complex structure? And the reason for that is, whenever you have to store the data with labels, right? Whenever you have to store the data with label. One such example was the student, where every student has data which has to be labeled. Every student has a name, he has a age, and they have subject. Similarly, if I have to store the data for any department, so you would have a product ID, you have a product code, and you have a product description. So any use case wherever you think I have to store the data in labels, we have to use dictionary. It can be like storing the student information, storing the employees record, configuration settings, right? People who are coming from UiPath background, this is the same concept which you see in the robotics enterprise framework config file, right? Which is nothing but a Excel sheet where you have key and the values, right? So wherever you have a data which has to be stored with labels, we use something which is called dictionary. A classic example is something which is called a student record, which all of us can relate, right? So I have student as the dictionary. It has in this example, it has 3 keys, which is name, ID, and grades, and then inside that we have different values. Okay, so with this background, let's go back to Python and try to work on the dictionaries. Okay, so I'll minimize this and go back to the Python, right? So this is the same project, guys, which we have been working on. I'll go to the folder structure, and this is the same one, right? So I'll go here and I will create a new file. I hope you guys are able to follow along this one. I'll go here and I say dictionaries.py, which is the Python file. Okay, and that way we have dictionary.py available, right? So the first thing first is we are going to put a hash. That's the way of writing the comments, right? So before you work on the dictionary, the first thing is we need to have a dictionary. So let's go here and create a dictionary. Now to create the dictionary, all you have to follow is the syntax, right? So first thing first is you need to name the dictionary, same like I used to create the string variable like str, and then I used to pass the value that it used to become a string variable, right, as seen in the previous tutorials. Same for the dictionary. All you have to do is just create the dictionary. So for example, today we are going to store the student record. So I just write student. As of now, Python do not know that what kind of data this going to store. Is it a string? It is an integer, right? As soon as I pass the value, then it automatically decides. So I put a equal to, and still it is not able to know that what data you have to store, right? And as seen in the slide, that we have to use the curly braces. So as soon as I use the curly braces, now this is the first step of creating the dictionary, and now you have to just go and put the value, which is the key and the value. So for every student, we believe that we should have something which is called the name of the student. So I go here and I use name, and what name you sorry, my bad, Control Z, what name you want to have. So the student name is Mukesh, and then every student would have something which is called ID, and the ID is an integer, let's say 1 2 3 4, right? And then every student have a age, right? And then the age is 21, right? So that way you can add more and more key and the value, right? You might be seeing an error here. That is because when you add items to the dictionary, you need to put a comma. Okay, so first, second, third. Now if you see here, if I have to ask you how many keys you have, so you total have 3 keys, name, ID, and the age, and this is the value for the individual keys, right? Now that was about creating the dictionary, right? How about if I have to use these values, right? So I will put a comment and I will say use the values. How do you use the values from the dictionary, right? So to use the values from the dictionary, all you have to do is just use the name of the dictionary, which is nothing but the student, which is the dictionary, and then from the student it has 3 keys, name, ID, and age. Put a square bracket, and then you can see here it's already showing you what data you want to get from the dictionary. You want to get the age, you want to get the ID, or you want to get the name, right? And this is coming because this is defined as a dictionary. So let's say I am interested in the name, so I can go here and I select name, and that way it would be able to access this value from the dictionary, right? If I have to print it, all you have to do is just use this command, which is the print, put it in the bracket, my bad, put it in the bracket, and that way you should be able to get the value. I run this and you can see that I am getting the value which is called Mukesh, right? Similarly, let's say you want to get the different value from the student. I want to know what is the age, so all you have to do is just change this key, right? Run this and I got 21, right? But let's say in my dictionary I just go here and I print address. So for this dictionary I do not have the address, so I go and I run this. Now you would see that I am getting an error. The error says, let me just put it like this, right? And now in the output you can see that there is something which is called key error, which is address. And the good part is it is also showing you that this is in the line number 9, that there is something which is called key error. So now address is not available as a key here. So that's why you are getting something which is called key error, right? So dictionary is a key value pair. So when I put address, the key was not available. That is why you are getting this error, right? Now let me show you interesting stuff, right? So we talk about the duplicates. So what happens if I just copy this guy, paste it again, and then here I say a new name, and I remove this comma, right? For the last record you do not need to have a comma. Now here I say that from the student print the name, and let's try to run this. Now you see here you are getting the value of the new name, right? We have the same key, the name and the name here, so this was overridden by the new value, right? So that is why it is recommended to not to have the duplicate values into the key, right? The values can be duplicate but the key cannot be duplicate, right? If your key is duplicate you are going to lose the data, right? So that is why avoid using the duplicate key name, right? What do I mean when I say the value can be duplicate? I mean that my age can be 21 and my ID can also be 21. So now if I just go here and I print my ID, I am going to get 21, right? So that means that my value can be duplicate but my key cannot be duplicate. Okay, one more thing which you should remember here is, if I go here and I put the same thing like age and I put a space and then I put a colon and I put 34 and I put a comma, right? So now as soon as I put age and age, by looking at it this might look exactly the same, however these two are two different keys. So now if I go here and I print age, I'm going to get the 21, but if I put a space here and then I run it, I am going to get 34, right? So the best practice is whenever you use the keys, even though they look exactly the same, but a space can make a lot of difference. So make sure that you name the keys appropriately and avoid using the duplicate key names, right? Again repeating, the value can be duplicate but the key cannot be duplicate, right? If you put duplicate keys then you are going to lose the data, right? So that's how you create a dictionary and that's how you use the value. Okay, now the other thing is, once you have created the dictionary, right, how about I want to update the data, right? So for example, Mukesh is now not 21 years old, he has been in the 4 years in the college and now he is a 25 years old student, right? And I want to update some of the detail from the dictionary, right? So next what I am going to show you, how do you update. So I'll just put a comment and I say update data. To update the data is absolutely simple. All you have to do is use the same syntax, that in the student, okay, whatever the student is, which is the dictionary, what data you want to update, right? So same like I was printing the age, this time I want to update the age. So I'll just this age is 21 here, so I go here and I say this age I want to update. What is you want to update? So I want to update it with 25, right? So here I was just printing, and then here I am updating it, right? So now if I have to print it, I'll just go and say print. Sorry, my bad. I'll print, and then I will again print it after updating, right? So now you created a dictionary. Just understand the flow, right? It is an interpreted language. You will have a dictionary who has a name, ID, and the age. First it should print the age, which is 21, then it should update the age to 25, and then it should only print 25, right? Let's go here and run this. You can see first it got 21 from this guy, and then the 25 from this guy, right? So that's how you actually update the dictionary. It's as simple as that. In case you want to update the name, just mention here what name do you want to put, right? So this is nothing but the key, right? So that is why the key is important. Okay. So that was about updating the data. Okay, how about once you have created the dictionary and you want to add new keys, right? So as of now, if you see here, I only have 1, 2, 3 keys, right? So I want to add a new key. So I go here and I say add new key, right? That's a comment, right? How do you add a new key to the existing thing, right? So it's exactly simple. It's absolutely simple, right? All you have to do is whatever you have, the name of the dictionary, right? What is the new key you want to add, right? So for example, we do not have the address. So I go here and I say address, right? And then what value you want to provide to the address. So I want to provide a value that I am in India. So I just say student address is equal to India, right? And then I just execute. So I haven't printed anything, that's why we haven't got anything. So now if I just go and I print that from the dictionary, right? You just print the student address. Let me just copy this, paste this, and execute. You will see that I am getting 21, 25 from the previous one, and then we are getting the India, right? So that is how easy it is to add the keys to the dictionary, right? So total, if I see now, I started with 1, 2, 3 keys, and now I have the 4th key, which was the address, right? If you put something which is not in the dictionary, then you will get an error, right? So overall, this is how you add a new key, right? It's absolutely simple. Now sometime you might have a requirement where you do not want a key. So after some time you want to remove this address key, right? So I go here and I say print. Let's try to do something, right? So I'll just put a comment here which is like print address, right? And this should print the address, right? Yeah, here it is printing the address, right? Now let's say I want to have some requirement where I want to remove a key. So as soon as I remove the key, the value would be automatically removed, right? So I go here and I say remove the key, right? So remember, I am not talking about replacing the value, right? Which is nothing but the updating. If you want to update the address, you can just use this guy, right? Update student, update the address. But I am trying to remove this complete thing, which is remove the complete key, and the data would be automatically removed, right? So how do you do that? It's absolutely simple. Again, you just have to use a command which is called del, a keyword, sorry, which is called del, and then you can just use the name of the dictionary, and then in the square bracket, what do you want to remove? Want to remove address, right? So till this point it will print the address, but if I just copy this and I paste it, then let's see what happens, right? I have deleted the address here, and then again I am trying to print the address, right? Let's see. Okay, so you can see here, first it printed this 21, which was from this age, previous age. Then we updated the data, we updated the age to 25, that's why this 25. Then we added a new key, sorry, which was India, and then we printed, so that's why this was printed, address is equal to India, and then we removed it. And then when I try to print it, that's where you are getting the key error, which is address, right? So this means that now you have removed it. If you want to again add it, just use this, right? So these are all the simple things which you can do with the dictionary: create, retrieve, update, and delete. Okay, now a lot of time you would be writing a program where your dictionary is very big, right? And every time I do not want to get this error, right, that hey, I am not sure whether that data is available in the dictionary, right? So before I do any operations in the real-time automations, or not automation, sorry, in the real-time program, whenever I am doing something, I would like to check whether the item is already available in the dictionary or not, right? So if you see here, I directly tried to print this, right? However, it was not available in the dictionary. Wouldn't it be good that first if I check whether it is available or not, and if it is not available, then only you go and you try to delete it. If it is not available, then there is no point in deleting, right? So how do you do that? So to do that, I'll just use a hash and I'll say check, right? And let's call it check, right? Check key maybe. How do you check the key if it is existing or not, right? So to print, so to check it whether the key is already there or not, all you have to do is use something which is called exist, right? So let's try to check whether the address is available or not. So I will create a variable which says, let's say, is maybe underscore, good practice, is address exist, is the address is existing or not, right? What do I want to check? I want to check address where? In student. I want to check whether address is available in the student or not, and if this is available or not, this value would be set to true or false, right? So I just want to now print is address exist, right? Maybe I will just change this to is key exist, right? So that it's easy for us to check, right? So let's try to execute this. Key error, because we are trying to print it here, so I will just try to minimize this, yeah, like this. Okay, so run this, coming as false, which says that your dictionary does not have the address. What is the name of the dictionary? Student. Student does not have the address, that's why it is coming as false, right? So you might be thinking, Mukesh, where is this coming from? This is coming from here, you have added it, right? So now your dictionary already has something which is called ID. So I can go here and I say ID, and now I run this. Now the answer should be true, right? You can put more string manipulation here that this key is available or not, but I hope you got the idea, right? So it's getting true because the student has already something which is called ID, right? What else? It has age. So if I go here and change this ID to age and I run this, it says the age is also available. But as soon as I change it to something like address, right, which by the way exist, right, here we add it, but then again we are deleting it also, right? Remove, we are removing the address. That's why when you go here and you run this, it says false. Now if I just go and put a new thing, let's say score, and I run this, it is again going to come as false, right? So now you can check this, and this information is available in this, and now all you have to do is just use the if condition. Remember our discussion from the previous videos, if and else. And if I say if the key exist is true, then you do the rest of your programming, right? So that you do not get any sort of errors, right? So that's how you can use this dictionary thing, right? So a quick recap, we have seen what is the dictionary, how do you create it? You can use this by using the key, and in the square bracket to update the value, use this. You can add a new key. You can remove the existing key, that will also remove the data. Before you do any manipulation, you want to check whether the key is already there or not. So we already tried to use something which is called key exist. You just have to use this syntax, right? So it's very easy. So that's how you use dictionary in Python, right? So I hope this was useful and you guys were able to follow along, right? And yeah, that's pretty much I wanted to cover in this tutorial. And before I wrap up, right, as I have discuss that I would be giving some of the assignments, right? So this is the assignment for you. You have to create a dictionary that is storing the information on a book, right? So the dictionary should have a title, author, the year which is published, and what genre it is, right? It's a comedy, it's a horror, it's a thriller. That information you have to store it in a dictionary, and you can call it anything. Now once the dictionary is created, you have to perform these 5 operations on the dictionary. You have to have a key value pair, then you need to update the year which it was published, then you have to remove the genre key value pair, then you have to check whether the rating exists or not, and then you have to finally print the dictionary. Now here in the last one, right, you might be thinking that Mukesh, you haven't told us that how can I print the complete dictionary, right? I say that print the final dictionary, but which I haven't showed. I just realized by looking at the assignment. So let me quickly go back, and here let's say you want to print what all is there in the dictionary, right? So at any point of time you can just go here, and I'll just remove this. I hope most of you would have got it, but let me again show you. To print the dictionary, just use print and pass the dictionary name, which is student. Yeah, sorry, print student, and then I run this, and you can see this is the current dictionary, right? Name is Mukesh, the ID is 12345, and age is 25. Right? So that's how you print the dictionary at any point of time, right? So I hope with this information you would be able to print the final dictionary and able to complete the assignment as well, right? Okay, so that is all for this tutorial. I hope you guys are able to follow along and you are also practicing with me. Any more questions, any more doubts, feel free to write me in the comments, or you can also drop me an email as well, right? Once you are done with the assignment, just comment down that you have completed the assignment and you understood the concept of dictionary clearly, right? I would wait for your comments and see you in the next videos in the Python series.